Welcome back, team. Day 2 for our AI training. And yesterday's session, we started playing around with LLMs and how we could write some effective prompts. I hope some of you got a chance to play around, watch the video again. If you want to look at how we use ChatGPT and Gemini for basic prompting and getting some basic um, warm-up kind of a lab going on. What I would like to do today is get you also started with Python, team. So a quick question, if I may ask, to, let's say, ChatGPT here. And we can always look at the other LLMs that are there. As you start going deeper into using some of these LLM tools, you definitely want to be able to sign up so it gets more personalized for you over a period of time. And a lot more member related features that will open up. There are also the commercial versions, but we'll look at that later. So there's a question that I want to ask ChatGPT on the necessity level of learning Python if we are having to do AI. So how do I put a prompt? As simple as, is Py necessary for AI? That's the question. Is Py skills? Now, I have not given a role or a big context, but the fact that I gave it a very generic one, but if I give more specific information saying, I am from non-IT, how do I learn Python? That would also give us some more details. So this was my prompt, this was my query that I put for ChatGPT. And what you'll see are a good documentation. And it says, yes, Python skills are generally considered necessary for working in AI for several reasons. So what are those reasons, teams? Popular AI libraries and frameworks. So Python has an ecosystem of contributors who constantly bring in a lot of libraries that help in machine learning, Pandas, NumPy, SciPy, Matplotlib, Plotly, PyTorch, TensorFlow. These, once you know the basics of Python, you're able to apply these libraries and start using whatever features or capabilities that they bring in. Also because if you look at other programming languages and how Python evolved, there is a lot of simplicity. So it should not be rocket science for us to pick up something in that direction. A lot of community and resources to help guide you as you get deeper into things. And it does have good amount of integration, team. It's widely being used across the industry. And when you have more tools coming in, like your cloud or big data side, you have these small to large Python scripts that do a lot of your basic automation and product engineering assistance. So this is good. At least you get a high level idea that is Python skills necessary. I wanted to change something, but I just forgot what I wanted to write. Yes, how about this? I am not from IT background. How can I learn Python? So in this case, my prompt has become a little better where I've given a background, a kind of a role play. So what I'm trying to do now is get to know what are the various ways that one can do. The reason I'm showing you this, team, because I would want you to definitely look at these two prompts that I've given. It'll also be there in the recording and see what they're trying to say. So primarily your whole approach is once you install, and what all we're doing is, let me write down. two things you need. One is the download the latest Py interpreter. You will find that download link on Google very easy. And next, you need an IDE, an integrated development environment of Python, like PyCharm. So once you have these two, you should be able to start writing basic Python code. Typically, if you're a beginner to Python, it may take you about 2 weeks to get a good hands-on experience and start your learning curve. If with the help of LLMs, can it be faster is something we will explore. Uh, so basic Py skills that you get, and we'll also add some of these learning resources. Instead of writing every code, I can use the help of existing Git repo, where we have a lot of code that we will go through. So even if you're new to Python, it should help you get started. Then we look at few blocks like W3 schools that help us with some more documentation and clarity on any programming language. It's a very good resource. We'll look at that. And we will also use LLMs to fast track our learning. So yes, it is great if we do not use LLMs and try and work hard towards improving our own ability to write code, understand the logic, understand what kind of an algorithm you want to put in place, how you debug it, how you make sure that it is defect free. There's a lot of learning that happens. So you'll continue to do that, but you should also continue to focus on uh, LLMs and how it can fast track some of these things. So a good mixture of a combination of these learning resources will help your team. Then we will get into very, very specific areas, and most of this should be oriented around the AI section. So in our prompt, if you look at what we did first, see the main libraries that we will look at, in fact, are listed here itself. So there's data side of it, there's analytics or visualization side where it will map, and there's also machine learning. In pockets, we will explore deep learning as well, and how neural programmings work and how neural networks get created for us. Those become important. But I like this part of it. I'm going to take this and put it into our Google Doc, so it's easy for us to refer. It's lost a little bit of its format, but that should be fine. So what are the, let me show you this. Yes, this is the w3schools.com team. It should be an easy domain for you to remember and type in your browser and get going. You'll find a lot of programming languages being covered here. Python being one of them. In fact, R, Ruby, these also have a lot of popularity within the realm of AI. I'm very sorry, but Python has a strong presence already. So most of what you see here will be covering in a very crisp manner. So you get the basics of how things work. We'll also do some file handling. See some of these modules like NumPy, Pandas, and SciPy, we already saw. The Matplotlib, this is very important too, and how that works. And as you go down, you'll see that under machine learning, as you learn the concepts of a lot of new things, like especially like data distribution, how linear multiple regressions happen, how you do data validations, and so on. These parts of the machine learning will really help team. So we definitely will cover a lot of areas in this. So W schools can be a good resource for you on the side. MongoDB, MySQL are something optional for our current need, but someday we will have to add references into it as well. So this is a good resource. What I also will go through is my Git repository. I'll just show you this. This one I believe is a public one where I have a number of Python codes already written where we are able to quickly look at um, based on the numbering and the order and sequence, one after the other, take those into your PyCharm or any other ID that you've identified to work with and start playing around. So for us to write all of this code from scratch would take a significant amount of time. But once we have access to this Git repository, we should be able to quickly go through a few of these key ones. There's a lot on Selenium WebDriver, so automation can be easy. API and both UI team, that's what we want to cover. We'll also come to Playwright and few other tools later, but for now, let's get a little deeper into Python. And there is also additional resources or coding that has been done in the same Git repo, which we'll continue to use. If you're someone who's not even aware of what a Git repo is, totally understandable. But don't worry, these are not rocket sciences again. It should not be a huge challenge for us to understand and start working with any of these things that you're exposed to in this training. If you're stuck at any point, team, let me know. I can slow it down and we can do some deep dive into concepts. But what is very important is you practice along with it, please. Quick poll questions. I don't think we want to do a very large session today. Most of the participants are on a Friday mood, and I believe there's also a festival that was going on in India and for some of the folks outside living. Couple of poll questions, team. I wanted to get a vibe from you. Let's see. Yeah, this is the first one I'm launching. That poll should be in front of you. What I'm trying to check out here is what are your Python skills at currently? 4 options. You never worked on Python. Maybe you did other programming language, but not Python. Or you're someone who's a little comfortable with Python fundamentals and you've got that minimal get going thing. Or the last option is you have advanced or really been working on Python for a while and very, very comfortable in it. So if I can get all your votes in, which I believe I've got, wow, we've got good rounded numbers as results. All right, 100% votes in. Let me share the poll results. So a lot of distribution is in the top 20%, never worked on Py, 40%, some other programming language, not Python, 40% is still comfortable with Python. So that's good team. But this, all of us in the next 14, 15 weeks, we'll have to go to the bottom two. Comfortable with Py fundamentals, at least the ones who are beginning level, and the ones who are already comfortable have to get into the advanced programming skills. So when we say advanced programming skills, what is it that we are trying to add on? All these libraries that I showed, the ones that we asked ChatGPT, those are the ones that we will get more hands-on with, and that's where your confidence will come. So that should be good for you. Another poll team. This is on the test automation side. Because for any test automation, unless the tool is a low code, no code, where I don't really need to do a lot of coding, every other framework tool or open source libraries come with expected coding. So in test automation, are you new to QA and automation or in QA but no automation? Beginner level in test automation or advanced in test automation? 4 categories, team. If you can help me answer, that would set things in line. And from next week onwards, team, once you have your Python setup and able to run that hello world kind of programs, we would want to go deeper and faster into the topics. So there'll be a lot for you to practice, an hour training a day and hopefully an hour or two practice a day. That should do wonders for you. All right, I'm closing this poll and going to share this result as well. So we've got good news is there's no one with without QA or automation skills. Uh, we have someone with no automation but still in QA, but majority of them are beginner level in test automation. So the intent is the ones who are at a no automation should get to beginner level. The ones who are at beginner level in test automation must get to the advanced level, like a software development engineer in test. That should be a career path team. We will continue to hold our key strength around test automation while we learn new concepts around Python, AI, machine learning, and so on. So both have to continue, team, which means that we will play around with some of these latest tools already in the test automation space. So our domain will still be very much in that arena, though the training can be ideal for any one who's getting started with an AI. Very specifically, our focus is on software testing and automation and how we can apply it. Okay, that's all I had for the polls. And back to the Python libraries and what we want to do. I have my PyCharm ready, but definitely the Bitbucket, rather the GitHub where I have hosted my repo and code. This will be a good resource, team. So hopefully Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days we should be able to finish a bunch of Python basics. And once we get this behind, right, we'll slowly increment it around, team. The reason I want to switch back and forth between AI concepts and Python is lot of these AI concepts can sound as a theory. So if we learn a little theory and get into putting it into action, that'll be great. And that's the reason I thought let's go to Python. Let's get that started as well. We don't have to wait for 2-3 weeks till we get into programming. And we can learn the fundamentals and theory behind why and how we're doing in parallel. So team, that's about what I thought we'll have for today. I will extend day 3 also as a demo for Monday. That way we can use the same GoToWebinar register link to join. Day 4 onwards, we'll move it for members only onto a new registration link. If you have any questions, please feel free to email, call, and if you're practicing and you have questions, you can also use the chat or question section within GoToWebinar to put it up. We can discuss on it. But other than that, that's it for today. You have a good day, and I'll see you all next week. Have a great weekend, please. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.